Hi, Sandy here. I'm going to have a day of cooking. Look at this mess. I will show you everything. Today is Wednesday. It's the day before Thanksgiving 2018. I'm going to spend the day cooking. You may think I cook a lot, but I don't. I like to keep meals in the freezer so that I can just defrost them and heat them after work, you know. Have it easy, but I've been busy. I already got my Christmas tree up. I don't put up my decorations. There's a glare from the window, but this is my pretty Victorian Christmas tree in the living room. I have a lot more decorations, but we don't do that until the day after Thanksgiving because we still have our Thanksgiving decorations out. I don't have nearly as much Thanksgiving as Christmas, of course. I did put up this garland up here. This is all of our family special ornaments because my trees have themes. This tree is the Victorian tree. I have a Mickey Mouse tree, Mickey and Minnie and friends up in the family room, but none of these go with those trees, so this is what I do with them. So I got those up, and this took an entire evening, just this room. I've been really busy lately. So back to the kitchen. We're going to the in-laws for Christmas tomorrow. So I don't need a turkey, but you got to buy one because it's on sale. And we do our Christmas decorating on Friday after Thanksgiving. And we like to stop and have our Thanksgiving leftovers, so you gotta have some leftovers, right? Well, so I'm gonna put the turkey in the roaster today, and most of it will go in the freezer. We'll just save a little bit for our, you know, the next few days to enjoy for leftovers. I'm gonna make Oreo cookie fluff. You need some milk in that too. I'm gonna put this in the refrigerator so it doesn't get too runny. I'm going to make cornbread dressing, so I have to bake these two. I just used Jiffy muffin mix, so I'm going to make that. There's some other ingredients I'll gather together later. My brother always takes the green bean casserole. We probably won't even do that till tomorrow because it's going to take up a lot of space in the refrigerator if we do it now. There's the green beans and the mushroom soup and the onions. And I always take yams. I like to they're already sweet in the syrup. And I don't like marshmallows and stuff on them. All I do is drain off the juice and heat them up in a little small casserole. And I take them to the in-laws, and my family eats them. But nobody else seems to like them, and that's fine because we bring them home for leftovers. And then I bought a ham. You got to buy a ham because they're on sale. My mother-in-law will have the turkey and the ham, so but I'm going to just slice this up and make packages so I can make sandwiches sometimes. I will have some for our leftovers on Friday, and I like to dice up a lot of it for a ham potato casserole that I like to make. I actually made a video of that casserole, if you can find it, on my channel. Let's see. And while I'm cooking, I'm going to make 4 batches of spaghetti sauce. I've got all this frozen hamburger. I buy the 10-pound tubes, and I freeze them into 10 packages, so they're about 1 pound each. So, and I've got 7 here, and it's on sale this week. I got to go buy some more because that's all my hamburger I got left. I like to keep a lot in the freezer so I can cook when I want. So my spaghetti sauce, I've had people comment on my videos, why don't you add seasonings? Well, I kind of try. I've never learned how to use seasonings. And I do start out with a can of tomato sauce, and it's got some seasonings in it. And I add a can of tomato paste. And actually I start out with browning the hamburger with lots of onions, I like to buy like 6, 12 or 18 large jumbo yellow onions and dice them all up at once and put them in these freezer bags because I hate dicing onions. So today I don't have to dice any onions. Yay! So I start out with browning the ground beef and the onions. Then I add all 4 of these sauces: the spaghetti sauce, the tomato paste, the tomato sauce, and canned tomatoes. So 1 can of each in each batch of sauce. So I'm going to make 4 batches of sauce. And then I'm going to make 3 batches of chili. So they start out with the ground beef and onions. And then I add 2 cans of beans and 1 can of diced tomatoes. And then I got 2 packages of seasoning mix. I'm going to add that to the 3 batches. So there's my seasoning. And then I bought these containers from Walmart online, and I really like them because they're the perfect size for my sauce and my chili, and they fit in my freezer really nicely. They stack so nice, and they've got these lids, but sadly these get very brittle in the freezer, and if you accidentally drop a container of something else on top or anything, they shatter. They literally shatter. And I've already lost 3 of my lids. I have 8 right here. I do have a few in the freezer now, but I have 8 right here, but only 5 lids. I'm going to use 7 today, and 2 of them are going to have, I'll cover them with plastic wrap, the top, and I've done that before, and it works. Once they're frozen, they're great. You just got to be careful not to spill before they're frozen. So I'm going to make all that today. I'm going to make some Rice Krispie treats today. My daughter's been wanting Rice Krispie treats. Pies. I don't make homemade pies. And I hate those pies that you buy at the store that are inexpensive, that, you know, they're already baked and they're inexpensive, because the crust is so soft, and I just don't like those. So I like... A store in my area has these. We bought these, I think, $3.99 each, and they're usually a lot more expensive, or $2.99 each. And I always buy 3 or 4, and my brother buys 3 or 4. We get them the weekend before Thanksgiving, and we stock up and put them in the freezer. He accidentally bought peach pie. We don't like peach pie, so we're going to bake that and take it to Thanksgiving. And I'm going to bake a pumpkin pie and take that to Thanksgiving along with the tub of Cool Whip. Of course, you can't have too much of that. And then my daughter loves the silk pie, and that's been in the freezer. And all I'm going to do is just put that in the refrigerator right now, so it's thawed. And we're not going to share that. That's for us. That'll be for our leftovers. Okay, moving on. I just boiled some water. I'm going to have a cup of tea with a peppermint stick in it. That'll be pretty good. I like a giant mug of tea. And then I'm going to make some hot apple cider with cinnamon in it. I'm going to plug this in the crock pot, and the kitchen's going to smell so nice, and we can sip on that. And what we don't drink today, I'll just funnel it back into the bottle, and we can enjoy it tomorrow and the next day. But we'll get it drank up. Okay, I haven't even had my breakfast yet. Sometimes I wish I had a couple more packages of these. I buy these banana nut muffin mix, and I just mix them up as the instructions say. I actually add a little bit more milk and make them a little bit thinner, but it doesn't matter. You can follow the instructions. And we have a Mickey Mouse waffle maker. So sometimes I make up a big batch of those and put those in the freezer. So I'm going to make some of those today. I'm going to have 1 or 2 for breakfast this morning. I wish I had more. Christmas morning, this is our family tradition. We eat banana nut Mickey Mouse waffles for breakfast on Christmas morning. So they'll be in the freezer ready to go. And we put them in the toaster oven. Don't microwave them. Yuck, they'll get yucky. Put them in the toaster oven. Okay, and then I'm going to make some hash brown casserole, kind of like the Cracker Barrels. So I got the hash browns and cheese and broth, and there's some other ingredients I gathered that are in the refrigerator, milk and the onions. And for dinner tonight, we're going to have some chicken noodle soup. And it's actually turkey noodle soup. This is some turkey from last year. And it's been in the freezer, and it's fine. So I'm gonna make some turkey noodle soup with some chicken broth And I like to add a packet of country gravy to it. That adds some good flavor, because like I said, I don't do seasonings very well, but that really adds some good flavor to chicken noodle soup. So, and I'll be doing dishes. I already got a sink full of dishes to get started from yesterday. I'll be doing dishes all day long, but my kitchen will be nice and clean when I'm all done. And I'll have things pretty much ready to take to Thanksgiving tomorrow. So, let's get cooking. Okay, I got a lot of things I got to do before I even get my breakfast. It's going to be a little while before I have my banana nut waffles for breakfast. Look at my apron. I hope you can see. I just got this at God, what's in it? Not Mad Max. Matt's. Oh, come on. I can't think of the store. If I think of it, I'll let you know. But it's Minnie Mouse. It's got the bowl, and it's got Minnie Mouse written all over it. And it's dirty for the last time, and it's going to go in the laundry when I'm done. So I'm going to get started here. I don't know if all this is going to fit in here. No, not quite. That's all right. So I'll put the rest in the refrigerator. And I'm going to shake in some cinnamon. It's already sweet. You don't need sugar or anything. I got my whisk here, so I'm going to whisk it up a little bit. My husband had this whisk when I married him. I had already been married to my first husband 18 years, so I knew how to cook and everything. And my first husband passed away, and my second husband and I have been married. It'll be 20 years in May, and I have never used a whisk, and I sure like it. Okay, so I'm gonna go plug this in. I don't have much room in my kitchen. We're gonna redo our kitchen in a year or two. The house is gonna be paid off in a year. I also gotta send my daughter to college. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, I got that plugged in. What should I do next? Oh, I gotta get my turkey in. Or should I do the pies? Okay, I'm gonna do the pies. So I gotta, let's see, $3.75 for that one, $400 for that one. So I'll bake them one at a time. I'll bake the peach first. Put that back in the freezer because the instructions are for frozen pizza. I could probably adjust the temperature and bake them together, but I'm not going to do that. So this one was $400. Yeah, it all looks easy so far, but things are going to get busy later. I always save my box, and I put the pie back in the box after it's baked and cooled, and put it in the, then if the leftovers go in the refrigerator and they're kept fairly clean. I have this candle holder, any pretty little thing. I always keep a single-edged razor blade in there. I also have my scissors, but I use this razor blade for scraping stuff off pans. I use it for cutting open things. I know it's not super sterile, so I'm trying not to touch the food. But see, that got started for me. It's plastic. Okay. I didn't read the instructions, but I think you're supposed to cut it a little bit. Yeah, cut from 4 slits into a frozen pie. It's hard as a rock because it's frozen. Okay, so I'll get that in the oven. It hasn't preheated 5 minutes, and I cheat like that. It may be important that I don't care. Here's my timer. It's got to go 45 to 55 minutes. I'm going to go with the 55 minutes because of the preheating. And now I got to get my turkey in the roaster. So I'm going to move my camera. Okay, I'm going to wash my hands. This is disinfectant hand soap. So I'm going to just wipe the sink with it a little bit. Get it rinsed out really good. I'm going to have to run my dishwater pretty soon too. Do some dishes. There's my the insert for my electric roaster. I'm just going to set it over here. Probably going to be out of range. So we went last Friday. I got off work early and we bought the turkey. So it's been in the bottom of the refrigerator since then, and today is Wednesday. So about 5 days. So I'm sure it's fully thawed out. Could be a day too long maybe. It's fine. This is a 20-pound turkey. Of course I bought it on sale. So we'll cut into this. I've been cooking turkey for 40 years, so I don't even have to read the instructions. These are some odd looking scissors. They came with my Pioneer Woman knife. I love this color because it kind of matches my KitchenAid mixer. The KitchenAid mixer is a brighter color, but it kind of matches. Okay. And I always rinse this off before I throw it in the trash because the blood will make your trash can stink. Okay. So, what do we got in here? Open up the legs. Oh well. I think that's turkey gravy. Awesome. And then, well, it hasn't been defrosting too long because there's still ice crystals on here. That's good to know. I don't have to worry about it being spoiled. And some people don't know. You always need to check this in too. See, there's the gizzards and stuff. My sister's been married since 1975, 43 years I believe, and her first Thanksgiving she didn't know she was supposed to take all this stuff out. And she baked it all in the turkey. She was only 18 or 19 when she got married. That's alright. So I probably would have done the same thing myself if I hadn't learned from her. Okay. So this is all cleaned up. I'm going to save the turkey and I'm going to rinse that off and dry it. Make some gravy for Friday, for our leftovers. Okay. There's the last piece over the fence, as my mom used to call it. I've never seen them cut that off before. Well, I guess they usually do, but I don't remember getting that piece. Maybe I have. There's the neck and the gizzards. I put these in a pan and boil them and cook them. And then there's two parts that are really kind of hard, and they're all gristly. They're no good. But then there's this. I think it's, I don't know what it is, the heart. I don't know what it is. But there's one part that's real soft. And I dice that up into super fine pieces. And I put that in with my stuffing or my gravy. And these I pretty much throw them away. Okay. Like I said, I don't know much about seasoning. I do rub some butter on it. Here's my tub of margarine. Butter, margarine. And I only reach in there one time. I just rinse my hands off so it's clean. But after rubbing it on the turkey, I don't want to reach in there again and contaminate my butter. So that's all the butter I'm going to use. Then my dogs are going to play their let me in, let me out, let me out, let me in, let me in, out. I got to let them out. Come on. They will be in and out all day long. Okay. Actually, I'm supposed to pat this dry. I'm just winging it. I'm not. Don't learn to cook from me. I have a lot of followers who just love to watch me cook. So here you go. I'm cooking. So I'm just rubbing this butter on there. Okay. Now I'm going to lift it up into the roaster. I still have one of those regular oven roasters, and I used to use that a lot for my cooking. But then I finally broke down and bought a electric roaster, and I just love it. Okay, I got some butter on the edge of my pan. I gotta wipe that off. Okay. I'm gonna set this up a little higher. Let's see what I got. See my roaster over there? Yeah, good enough. You can watch it from the distance. So I'll just put it in here. Plug it in. I need more outlets in this kitchen, I really do. Okay. I think those are safe distance from my roaster, and I'm going to turn it on to, I don't know, 350. Maybe 325, let it slow cook. There's the lid. And that's ready to go. Okay. I want my breakfast now. I'm going to make my breakfast. And I have a serious shortage of outlets. I have a... Oops. Okay. Excuse me. Setting up the camera. Okay. I'm going to make my waffles now. I have you can't see it behind the candle, but one of those Black & Decker Space Maker radios, clock radios here. And it's got an outlet on the side. And it's plugged in over here, and my only outlet in this corner, where the stove is plugged in, and my radio, and I don't want to unplug the radio because then I'd have to reset the time. So I plug my waffle maker in there. I recently got a new waffle maker that's regular waffle instead of Mickey Mouse, and the instructions said don't use the spray, which I always do. It says use some oil. So I'm going to try that instead, because that spray gets kind of sticky sometimes. So I'm going to prime my thing. Just going to wipe some oil on there with the paper towel before it gets too hot and I burn myself. I don't want to do that. Okay, I'm going to let that preheat while I'm mixing up my waffle mix. I have a 4-cup cheapo mixing thing. So I add how much milk? Half a cup of milk, that's all. So I go a little generous with the milk. I'm going to add almost a full cup, not quite, maybe 3/4 of a cup of milk. I'm just going to mix up one at a time. I don't think I can mix up both. I'm going to give it a try though. Oh, and there's my whisk. I got more whisks. I gotta get one out of the cabinet. Okay. One of my dogs is supposed to be a coon hound. She's kind of a beagle mix, and she's got that hound bark. You probably hear her barking. She's kind of a bother sometimes. Okay. I think after I get the first waffle poured in there, I'm going to go ahead and add the second batch into that cup, because it's pretty big. Well, I can't put away my milk yet. I was going to put this away and I grabbed the milk instead, because I'm done with my oil for now. Okay. I'm going to grab a plate for my breakfast. I'm going to use this spatula. Okay, I think it's ready. So I pour a little bit into his ears. You're supposed to preheat your waffle iron, which I did. Okay, now that's going to rise up and fill up the top section too, and it's going to be a Mickey Mouse waffle. I will need a freezer bag to put them in when they're done. I'm getting a freezer bag. I always keep a Sharpie here in the kitchen. Today is, what is today's date? I gotta run and check the calendar. It is Thanksgiving. It's November 21st. So I'm going to write that on here. And always add the year, because it's on in the freezer, but it ain't going to last a year. And I'm going to write Mickey Mouse waffles, although you'll be able to clearly see what they are in the bag. Yeah, I don't make the waffles on Christmas morning. I just take them out of the freezer and put them in the toaster oven, and they're pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna now I gotta use a measuring cup. So here's a 3/4 cup measuring cup. So I'm going to add that to this. Not quite full. It's supposed to be a 1/2 cup, but I make it a little bit thinner for the waffles. I don't know if you're supposed to, but that's how I do it. Okay. So now I'll add this other packet of mix. I try to put things away as I go and get the trash tossed as I go. When I was in my 20s and 30s, man, I would just, well, I got to clean up after I eat. I got to do the dishes, so I just leave the trash all over the counter. I'd leave everything all over the counter. And then after dinner, it'd be like, oh my God, what a mess I got to clean up. Well, I'm going to go watch TV for a while. I got to take a break. And then you get involved in your TV shows and the things you're doing, and then every once in a while I think, I gotta do those dishes, I gotta do those dishes and clean the kitchen. And you just put it off, and then it's time to go to bed, and like, oh my God, I forgot to clean the kitchen, I gotta go clean the kitchen before I can go to bed. Now, since I married my second husband, he always does the dishes immediately after dinner, and so I've picked up that habit. I've picked up a lot of good habits from my second husband. It's not quite done, but it's getting there. For years and years, it's Saturday, you know, you got the weekend off. Saturday's my day off. So I clean the house on Saturday. And my first husband usually had a second job, and he would be working on Saturday. So I'd be home alone on Saturday, and I'd clean the house. Well, now my second husband, Tuesday's housework day, and we do it together. And he was single until he was 37, until he married me, and so he's used to having to clean the house and he kept his house clean. So he's just thrilled to have help now, because I help him clean the house, and he appreciates me, and boy, I really appreciate him. So, and I'm a janitor. I clean all day at work, so I come home on Tuesday, I gotta clean the house. But it only takes us about an hour. We just mop the floors and sweep the floors and dust and get the trash gathered up, and that's basically it. My husband cleans the bathrooms on Sunday, on the weekend, either Saturday or Sunday, and I do all the deep house cleaning once in a while, and disaster. The spray works better than the oil. Oh my gosh. This is not good. Oh, I'm disappointed. This is not good. So what can I use to scrape that out of there? There it is, that's what I'm looking for. I see it. In my gadget drawer, I dump everything. Oh, darn it. Well, you know when you make pancakes and stuff, the first one never turns out anyway. But the first one usually turns out on here. Oh. Okay, I'm going to turn off the camera and we'll get back. Okay, I'm back. I got my waffle maker all cleaned up. I ran some water to do the dishes, and I put my gizzards in this pan of water, and I'm boiling my gizzards so I can dice them up and use them in my stuffing and stuff. Oh my gosh, I gotta plug in I got my waffle maker all cleaned up. Gotta plug it in, let it warm up. Gonna try the skin, and I'm gonna use the cooking spray this time. Meanwhile, I'm going to mix up my corn muffin mix. for my cornbread, for my stuffing. I always make that. So I need eggs and milk. I tell you what, when I get done cooking, I'm going to have a hard time getting everything in the refrigerator, but I'll get it done. Okay. I think I need to mix these up one at a time because I don't know if they'll both fit in this 4-cup measuring cup. So, and these were on sale too for $1. The sun, it's morning, it's like almost 10:30 in the morning and the sun is shining right through my mini blinds into my face. Okay. So I need 1/3 cup of milk. I'm getting that. There's my 1/3 measuring cup. And an egg. I'm going to spray my pan. This might be ready for my waffle mix. This is my whisk for my waffles. Now the waffle mix kind of thickens up a little bit as it sits, so that's why I always kind of thin it down. Oh crap! I forgot to spray! This is not going good for me today! Oh man! Okay. And this is very hot. Oh boy. I'll get back to that. I just want to eat my breakfast, that's all. And I can get all this in here, so I'm going to add the other egg. Toss some shells. I'm going to get my banana nut waffles this morning. I am. Another 1/3 cup of milk. I never have this problem. This always goes well for me. I don't know why it's happening today. I do have my KitchenAid mixer, but I don't want to get it dirty for such a small job. I'm going to try to make some cookies later today, but don't count on it, because by the time I get done with all of this, I might be really tired. But if I'm not really tired, I'm going to make some cookie dough. Sometimes I make cookie dough and freeze it. If I do make the cookies, I probably won't videotape baking them. Or I might, but I probably won't. Alright. So this bakes at 400 just like the pie in the oven, so that's okay. I gotta brush off my scraper. put this in here. Alright, I'm going to put that in the oven, and that goes for 20 minutes, so my timer says I have 20 minutes left. Boy, that was some good timing. Something's going right, yay! Okay, I'm going to clean this up and try again. Alright, I'm ready to try again. I've got my thing all cleaned up and I'm going to spray it this time. Okay. Now, I'm going to pour my batter in there again. This time's going to work, I hope. I've never had this problem before. And we love our little Mickey Mouse waffle iron so much we actually have a second one still in the box. For when this one dies, we'll still have one. So in the meantime, my gizzards are cooked. I'm going to cool it off real quick. Dice that up while my waffle is cooking. I'm going to do dishes pretty soon. I'll be doing dishes all day long. That's how it goes. Okay, I'm going to get a little tiny container to put it in. I think in about a year, after our house is paid off, I'm going to redo this kitchen. I already remodeled it after we moved in 16 years ago. We changed all the cabinets and everything. It's a small kitchen. But I'm going to spend the money and have them shift this sink. And under the basement is under there with the open ceiling, so it shouldn't be too complicated. It's going to be more expensive than leaving the sink there, but I'm going to shift it over about 2 feet. And the window is right over the sink, so that's got to be shifted over about 2 feet, which means the siding on the house. But then, on this area, on this wall, for some reason that siding is all dry and brittle, and it just doesn't look very good. So it wouldn't hurt to have new siding put on just that one area of the house. So it's not a small task moving the sink over, but I'm going to do it because I've got this much space right here. This is where I stand to do my cooking. And it's nice that it's a corner and I've got all this, but I need to be between my stove and my sink to cook. So if I can have this much space, that'd be awesome. Then I'm going to have this cupboard removed. This is my storage containers, and I'll put the storage containers in this one, and then I want some open shelves right here. And when I got married 40 years ago to my first husband, actually today's the 21st, on the 25th would have been my 40th anniversary. He died of cancer 22 years ago. But when he was only 38, we were married 18 years. Anyway, so for a wedding gift, my first husband's grandmother bought me these dishes. And I already had a set of mixing bowls, because I had had my own apartment for a year when I got married. Floor is clean, I mopped it yesterday. So over the years, they don't break. They're very durable dishes, and I've just continued using them year after year after year after year. And now I got remarried, and I continue to use them. And my husband's mother has the same dishes, and she promised me she would leave them to me. So over the years, these Corelle dishes, this is the butterfly gold pattern, and the Corning cookware and the mixing bowls and Pyrex, you know, they've gotten very valuable. They've become very collectible and valuable. And so I've just been using them, and over the years they've gotten valuable. And so when I get my open shelves here, I want to have my stuff displayed up here. The casseroles and the mixing bowls will be up high because I don't use them a lot. I keep my step stool right here in my kitchen. I do keep it folded up most of the time. I have a space against the wall over there where I keep it, but so I can reach the higher shelves, and I use it all the time. But anyway, I want my plates and my bowls right here so we can just grab them, you know, because it's just going to be so nice, and they'll be on display. And oh, I gotta check my waffle. Let me get a fork. Success. Yes. I got a waffle. Let's get the next one going. So I'm going to stop pretty soon and have my breakfast. So I'm going to cook up all of this batter and freeze what I don't eat. I'm going to have probably just one, maybe two. And the rest will go in the freezer. Okay, so what was I saying? What was I saying? Oh, so when I make dinner, I don't set the table. We do eat at the dining room table every day. There's me, my daughter, who's going off to college next year, and my 58-year-old brother David, who lives with us, and my husband. So there's the four of us. We're basically adults. And I don't set the table. With the dining room's over there, but we do eat at the table every day. I make dinner. I leave it in the pan on the stove. I get 4 plates out and 4 forks. I leave them here on the counter. Our food is spread out here. Sometimes I take the gravy to the table, you know, so you don't spill it carrying your plate. And sometimes the dinner rolls, things like that I put on the table. But most of it, I leave it right here. And we just serve ourselves buffet style. Carry our plate in there, get our drink, and we eat. And then when we're done, we bring our dishes in here and put them in the sink, and then we clean up right away. So that works great, and it's so easy to clean up like that. Instead of carrying dish after dish after dish, you know, leaving it all on one person to do that. No, that don't work for us. But our system works really good for us, and it's easy cleanup. It just works great. So that's how we do it, and we eat at dinner every day. We eat at the table every day. Okay. Oh, I don't like to put knives and glasses. This is breakable glass. I don't like to put those in my dishwater until I'm ready to wash them. I learned that at a job I used to have at a soda fountain. We don't put that in the sink because you could get cut. You can't see what's in that water. Things break. So I'm going to put my gizzards in the refrigerator and put that in my stuffing later, I believe. And then I'm going to take a break pretty soon and eat my breakfast and continue cooking my waffles while I'm eating my breakfast, and I'll get the dishes done. And I'll get back to you. I haven't eaten my breakfast yet, but now it's time to get my first pie out of the oven. There's the peach pie. Oh. And there's my cornbread. So I'll let that cool. And it's time to put the pumpkin pie in. So I gotta lower the temperature down to 375. Still working on my waffles. Okay, let's see, how long does that bake? 65 to 75 minutes, and the oven is already preheated. Where's the timer? There it is. So I'm going to set it for an hour, and then I got to add a 5 to 15 minutes after that's done. And I'm going to grab a pile of pot holders and move these the pie and the cornbread to my dining room table because it's hot here on the stove, so it won't cool very well there. Okay, I'll see you after I eat my breakfast. I'm back. I had my breakfast. I did the dishes. I'm finishing up the last waffle. I'm going to unplug this here. I'm having a little bit of a problem with them sticking. Well, this one's okay. I just tore off like a strip this wide of wax paper. Then I tore it in half and I put it between each Mickey Mouse waffle. And I got them stacked up here on a plate. I got a total of 6. I ate one. There's 5 here. 1, 2, 3. Is there 6? 2, 4. Oh, I got 6 here. So I got a total of 7. Okay. So I gotta let this cool off before I wash it. I'll get that out of the way. I got my freezer bag ready for my waffles. I dated it. I'm gonna set these aside and let them cool. Don't want them all hot and steamy when you put them in the bag and seal it up, you know. So I'll have to clean these later. Next thing on my list, I wish I could get in closer, but I can't. Cornbread casserole, cornbread stuffing. That's what I'm making. So, what a mess. I'm gonna plug my can opener back in because I don't need it. I just put a glob of margarine in the pan. I like to keep diced up celery and carrots in the freezer. I'm going to add some of this celery to the pan. Turn on the pan. And the rest of this I'm going to add to my chicken noodle soup that I make later. And this is, I have to buy some more celery, and I'm out of carrots. I let myself run out of carrots. I gotta get more carrots. I'm not gonna add them to my soup because I'm out, but otherwise I would add celery and carrots to my chicken noodle soup. Just to get some vegetables into my family, you know. Okay. And then I got my diced up onions. These have been thawing, but usually I don't thaw them. Usually I pull them right out of the freezer. These are all going to get used today. And sometimes, if I haven't used the bag yet, they'll be frozen in one solid lump. And this is why I dice them by hand. I don't use any choppers or anything because they get too juicy. But when you dice them by hand, they'll be stuck together in a big lump. But then you can just whap it on the counter a couple times and they'll break apart into pieces. But if you use the chopper, then they're too juicy and that doesn't work very well. So I'm going to add some onions. I don't have any major, I do have a recipe. It tells me how much, but I just guess at it. I like a lot of onions. So I got my onions and celery cooking on the stove top. So I gotta keep an eye on that. I got my diced up gizzard or whatever it is. I gotta open my can of chicken broth. Toss my lid in the sink because I'm going to rinse it off and recycle it. And I should have done this beforehand, but I always use my razor blade and cut the label off. My recycling center has paper one week and metal and glass, and metal and plastic the next week. And you can recycle these with the labels on, but I prefer to take the labels off and recycle this with the paper. Then I know that it's just not going to get burned up and on the can, you know, when it's getting recycled. The paper's going to get recycled. I keep a small basket over there, and then my brother takes it out to our recycling bins in the garage. Okay, I got that ready. I'm going to spray my casserole dish. These are my Corningware I was telling you about. I've got several pieces. And there's something wrong with this spray. It's spraying it out really heavily, and I hope I have enough to last me through the day. In fact, I'm going to get a small piece of paper towel, make sure that gets spread up the sides so it doesn't stick. It's really coming out heavy, and I have several things I'm going to have to spray today. Something's wrong with that. Okay. So I got my cornbread, and you break that into pieces. I hope it'll all fit in this bowl. I think it'll condense. I'm sure it's going to condense down after I pour the stuff on it. I used to always just use, I don't know how to make stuffing. I used to just use stovetop stuffing. I don't like wet stuffing. I like it kind of dry. And this is good. My mother-in-law makes hers very wet. And that's why I don't make it in the turkey. And if I do, sometimes I do with, now if I was going to make dinner for everybody, I would put some stuffing in the turkey. But then I would also have a lot on the side that it was not baked in the turkey. It's not so soggy. Because my mother-in-law's is very soggy. Well, this doesn't all fit in the pan, but once you pour, there will be milk in there and the broth. It's going to be a liquid mixture I pour in this, and it's going to condense down when it gets wet. Well, yeah, that does fit in there. Put that in the soap. I don't even have a dishwasher. I don't even want one. Okay, this is cooking up. It's going to take a little while. I'm going to go ahead and add the gizzards. And there's not much. If people don't like gizzards, they're just such tiny little pieces they won't even taste them. So, got my cornbread muffin, I got the butter, the celery, the onion, so I did the cornbread, crumble, 9 by 13 pan, I'm going to bake it in that. In a saucepan, melt the butter, celery, and then add all the other ingredients, which is salt and pepper, some sage. I think I have some sage, yes. I do have a few that's my spices right there. I have very few. I've got some grilled time steak seasoning, barbecue seasoning, oregano, chili powder, poultry seasoning. That's about it. Salt and pepper. I don't use much seasonings because I never learned how. I thought you were supposed to add some milk to this, but I guess not. No, you add milk to the hash brown casserole. And I need 2 eggs beaten. Making a shopping list as I go, and now I need eggs. I have enough to get me through the day, though. Get back here. Put the eggs in here and I'll beat those. Now whisk. That bakes at 350, and my pumpkin pie is still baking at 375, and it's got another 5 to 10 minutes to go, so I have to wait to put that in the oven. But I'm going to have it ready to go, because this cooks at 350 and the oven's on 375 for the pie. I just love spending a day just cooking a whole lot of things and putting them in the freezer, or, you know, eating them the same day, whatever. So there's my onions and celery coming along. They're still a little bit juicy. I'm going to cook it a little bit longer. I'm going to go ahead and add the seasonings. Add some sage. I don't know how much. I'm just guessing at it. And some pepper. That's for the whole serving, not just for one serving, of course. And some salt. I'll put that back. Close this up to keep it fresh. Although it's used by 2012. I don't care. I don't use it enough to keep it fresh on hand. Alright, that's about ready to go. I gotta add my chicken broth. Put that in the cycle and recycle it. There's my whipped eggs. That's my timer for the pie, but it's supposed to go 65 to 75 minutes, and I just checked it, and I'm guessing another 10 minutes. I don't think 15. I don't think it needs another 15. You just kind of guess. Okay. So I got my eggs and broth and celery, onions, and seasonings with some margarine. So you pour that over this. Then you gotta kind of turn it a little bit, because all the onions and celery on top. You want them kind of spread out evenly. Okay, that is ready to bake. That will bake for 30 minutes. I'll leave my recipe card there. I'm going to get ready to bake, do my hash brown casserole next. So I'll be back. Okay, I'm ready to start making my hash brown casserole. I'm going to start by spraying my pan because I don't want to forget. This is a huge Corningware roasting dish or pan, whatever you want to call it. So I got that up the sides pretty well this time. In fact, it's all over the rim, so I want to wipe that off. Okay. So take a stick of margarine and put it in the pan. I got this recipe from the internet. I also got the cornbread muffin from the internet. So you can find some good recipes. And I don't follow directions. Okay, so I gotta melt this margarine. And it says 1/4 cup minced onion. Oh no. I like a lot of onions in my hash brown casserole. I'm going to put probably 1.5 cups or maybe possibly 2 cups. There are lots of onions. That's maybe about 2 cups of onions. I like a lot of onions in it. I hate raw onions. I hate dicing them, but I love cooked onions. Okay. So then, now that'll bake at 425, so that can't bake with the hash brown casserole. This oven's going to be going all day. So you melt the butter, remove from heat, add the milk, broth, salt, and pepper. So I'm going to need my salt and pepper again. I'm going to need 1 cup of milk. And it says to mix the onions with the hash browns in the pan, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to brown them a little bit. I like my onions cooked. So I need 1 cup of milk. And it actually says 1/2 cup of beef or vegetable broth. I use the whole can. It makes it nice and moist. I need this. Where did I put my towel? Oh, it's right there where it belongs. Okay. So I'm going to brown the butter. And I'm going to put in, it says 2 cups of cheese, which is 1 bag is 2 cups. I'm going to use 2 bags of cheese. And it says a 26-ounce bag. Oh my gosh, I got the wrong kind. I gotta go get a different bag from the freezer. These are diced, and I need this shredded. So I'll be back. And I do have some in the freezer. I'll be right back. Well, I actually bought those by mistake. I didn't want to have those. I got this shredded. So I'm going to slam it on the counter to break it up. Cut it open. I'm going to move these out of the way so I don't spill. That spray made a mess on my recipe card. Oh well. So I'm going to pour half of these in the pan. I got it sprayed with the cooking spray. So I'll pour about half. Then I'm going to pour this whole bag of cheese on there. And this is going to get stirred up. I'm going to probably stir it up after I mix in the onions. And then you have to stir it up halfway through cooking. So there's the hash browns and a layer of cheese. Another layer of hash browns. Yeah, this is going to be good. I'm taking this to my in-laws tomorrow. And the stuffing. And she'll make her own regular stuffing. But I'm bringing mine too, because that's what me and my family like. Okay. So we're waiting for that butter to melt. It's pretty much melted, and the onions to saute just a little bit. And I guess I can add the salt and pepper. Why not? The recipe actually calls for minced onion, but this is diced onion. That's what I use. And you know, I think mine needs a little bit more flavor, so I use a lot of seasoned salt. So I'm going to add some of that to it as well. Got a lot of potatoes to season there, you know. Recipe only calls for like 1 teaspoon of salt, which I probably didn't shake that much in there. I'm just guessing. And then a half a teaspoon of pepper. So we'll get this seasoned up. This apron will not stay. My thing keeps falling down. I need to get a safety pin, hold it up. So the butter's pretty much melted. The onions are softening a little bit. So I'm going to add my milk. And my broth. And here's this nice milky, oniony, buttery mixture. So you pour that over. And then I'm going to flip it around a little bit to mix in those onions. Next time I should try to remember to make my hot mixture first, and then put in the one layer of hash browns and cheese, and then pour half the mixture on that, and then add another layer of potatoes and cheese, and pour the rest of the mixture on that. And that would spread out my onions more evenly. I don't know if you can see, it's got all this sauce in there. But that's gonna just get soaked up by the potatoes, and it's gonna be moist and really good. Okay, so that's ready to bake. Yay! We're making progress. I'm gonna set that on the front burner because the back of the stove is pretty hot. And then I'm gonna set this on the stove. Well, I'm probably gonna be needing the stove. Well, that's going in next very soon. What should I do now? I think I'll dice up my ham now. It's been sitting out for a while. Ooh. Better wipe off my countertop. got my hot apple cider. Not very hot right now because I've been drinking. Oh, lovely. Okay, I'm going to keep that out because I might need it for something else. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to get this out of the way. Okay, I need my cutting board. I've had this thing forever. So I'm going to cut open my hand with my razor blade. Oh, come on. Tough. Tear the package off. And it's got this waxy coating on it. I actually splattered my glasses. That's annoying. Okay. I just noticed my Mickey Mouse waffles. I'm going to get those in a bag. Alright. I'll need to make another batch before Christmas so that we have enough for maybe 2 apiece on Christmas morning. Got my electric knife. I got this at a garage sale like 35, well at least 30 years ago, and it was used then, the Hamilton Beach electric knife. And I pretty much only use it when I cut ham or turkey. It's not very often. The box is so old and stained. Okay, yeah, I still have the original box. So I gotta unplug my can opener and plug in my electric knife. My razor blade away. Okay. So I'm going to start by, the cord's kind of in the way. I'm going to cut off the ends because those need to be diced up. And now I'm going to make some slices which I'll have ready for sandwiches. Okay. So I got to write on my bag, get my marker. Today's the 21st, 11/21/18, ham. Now I'm very frugal. I got a good freezer bag here. But I'm going to put my individual stuff in these bags. And the dogs want to go out again. Come on. Go. They've actually been pretty good compared to usual. They're not bothering me too much yet. Okay, so I got these fold-over plastic bags. Those are a lot more inexpensive than the Ziploc bags. I do use Ziploc bags for something that I'm going to store long-term. Well, actually, these are going to be stored long-term. So there's 4 of us in the family, so I'm going to make a few packets of 4 slices. We like to make grilled cheese sandwiches with a slice of ham in them. So that's pretty good. I just have to remember to thaw the ham out the day before. So I think I'll make one. Well, I'm not going to leave lots of dice. I can always buy more. Okay. So there's 3 packages that we can use for sandwiches. And then I'm going to save, I got this crooked slice that I made, 4 more slices for our leftovers that we'll have on Friday when we're doing our Christmas decorating. And then the rest of this I'm going to dice up and use for I make a ham potato casserole. So for my ham potato casserole, I use a big old frying pan, and I brown some cubed diced hash browns and some diced onions and the diced ham in about 1 pound. I think I'm gonna get at least 2, possibly 3 meals out of this diced stuff. So I brown the hash browns, ham, and onions in oil. Not a lot, just enough to keep it from sticking. And I add a lot of salt and pepper and seasoning. And then I add a bag of frozen corn. Let that get warmed up in there. And then I add an entire package of 2 cups of shredded cheddar cheese and let that melt on the top. And my family has instructions, you dip all the way to the bottom. You don't just take the cheesy stuff off the top. And I always seem to have cornbread muffins with it. That's pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to get my ham into my freezer bag. And I've never had any problem with freezing in these cheap freezer bags, in the cheap plastic bags. They're not for freezing, but I do it anyway. But I actually empty out my freezer at least once or twice a month, so about twice. Not a month, at least every 2 months, and I keep everything. Okay, I got my ham all bagged up. I just ran out of memory on my SD card, so I had to go empty it. Let's see. My pie is done, so I got to take that out. There's the pumpkin pie. And I got to lower this down to 350. Put in my cornbread stuffing. And I cooked that for 30 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to clean up a little bit and figure out what I want to do next. I think the next thing I need to do is make my spaghetti sauce and chili. Okay, before I start my cleanup, I'm going to get my hamburger and onions going for the spaghetti sauce and chili. This is still frozen, but that's okay. It's been sitting out for a couple hours, so it's slightly softened, very, very slightly. But it's going to take a little while to brown this, so I'm going to get it going while I clean up and get set up to make my stuff. So this will be for the ground beef in this blue pan. I'm going to making 4 of those, so I'm going to put 4 of these in there. I'm going to have to change my dishwater too. I usually change my dishwater a few times on my cooking days. It gets dirty fast. Okay, there's 3. Good. I'm going to go ahead and put it in this one before I wash my hands. So I'm going to put 3 of these in this other pan for the chili. And that's all the ground beef I have, and it's on sale. I'm going to go buy. Okay, I got some dishes done. I opened all of my cans for my sauce, my spaghetti sauce, and my chili. I've got an ice cream bucket here. I also have a lid for it. I'm going to drain my fat into that. My chili meat is, no, this is the spaghetti sauce meat. It's cooked. So I'm going to drain that. My battery is going dead fast. I had to recharge it between takes here. And I'm going to keep this pretty brief because I have to keep recharging my battery. This camera is, I don't know how old it is, 5 or 6 years old, and it's still got the original rechargeable battery in it. So I hope we can continue videotaping till I get all my cooking done. Okay, so I'm going to chop this up into small pieces. It is basically chopped up. I'm making 4 sauces. I will get 4 of my dishes ready. Don't need that lid anymore. And I'm going to divide this into 4 basically equal parts into these containers. has more than the others, so I'm going to put some into these that have a little less. Okay, I think that's basically even. So I'll take one of these and put it back in the pan. I'm not going to cook it anymore. I'm just going to mix things up. And then, where's my scraper? Okay, there it is. So, I will dump in my tomato sauce, or spaghetti sauce. Now, this is where people think I should add some seasoning. Spaghetti sauce already has some seasoning, and frankly, I don't know how to add seasoning. There's the diced tomatoes, the spaghetti sauce, or that's tomato sauce, and I need a tablespoon for the thick tomato paste. Okay, and then I gotta stir that up real good. It's pretty easy to stir except for that thick tomato sauce. But then if it doesn't get stirred in really good when you thaw it out and reheat it later, it'll get stirred in pretty good then. Okay, so and there's one sauce ready to go. I'm going to turn off the camera and save my battery time and do this 3 more times. Okay, I got my pasta sauce all done. I put a piece of tape on the lid and the date wrote on there the date and the pasta sauce. So get that sealed up. And like I said, I'm missing a couple of lids, so I'm going to use foil. I wrapped this one in plastic wrap and then covered it with foil and wrote on the... That's not going to fit under there. Okay. I'm going to push these out of the way. And on to the chili. So I got to drain my chili meat. I got my 2 packets of chili seasonings, so I'll put those in. Get that all stirred up. Break down this ground beef a little bit while I'm stirring. So right now we just got the ground beef and onions. That's the timer. Off camera, my stuffing got done cooking, and I put in the hash brown casserole. And you bake that for an hour at 425, and at the 30-minute mark, which it is now, you stir it. It's still kind of runny, but that's okay because in the next hour it's going to soak up more of that sauce. It soaked up a lot of it, and it's going to be nice and moist. Okay, that was perfect timing when I wasn't really in the middle of anything. Okay, so Get my 3 containers for my 3 chilies. And again, I'm going to divide up my ground beef mixture into 3 fairly even amounts. This just gives me room to work with the pan. If you had a really big pan, you could mix it all together in a pan. But you know, I think this way is a lot easier with the smaller batches. So let's see. I think this one has a little bit more than... No, I think it's pretty even. Okay. So I'm going to dump one of these into the pan, back into the pan. It's not going to cook anymore. When I reheat it, I actually add half a can of tomato sauce, or tomato juice. But I freeze it like this in a kind of concentrated form. This tomato, fresh out of the can, has a black mark on it. I'm not going to use that piece. Okay, so I add my... And I'm tossing all of these cans into the sink because I gotta rinse them out so I can recycle them. So I add 1 can of tomatoes and 2 cans of beans. And I've got the seasoning from the packets. I'm probably standing in the way. I'm doing the best I can. It's just so hard to get the camera in a place in my little kitchen where we can see well. So I'll stir that up. Wish you could see in the pan, but you'll see it. And then I pour it into the pan, into the container. So there's my chili, and that's, you could probably serve it like that if you like a thick chili, but when I cook it, I'll add a half a can of tomato sauce. Tomato juice. I keep saying tomato sauce. Okay, so I'm going to do that 2 more times and conserve my battery. Oops. Okay. I got my 3 chilies done. And my 4 pastas. And one day I decided, here's what I do with my pasta. I use my 2 pans. One, I boil the pasta, either spaghetti or macaroni, or you could make mascacholi or whatever. I boil my pasta in one pan, and I heat up my sauce in another pan. One day I thought I'd be real smart and take a shortcut, and I put some macaroni dry macaroni directly into my sauce and heat it up. I thought, well, it's going to soak it up. Nah, don't do that. It didn't turn out well at all. The pasta did not get very tender. So cook your pasta and your sauce separately, and then when the pasta is done, you drain it and mix it in with your sauce. Or pour your sauce over if that's the way you do it. We like ours all mixed together. So don't take a shortcut and warm up your trying to cook your pasta in your sauce. It's not going to work. So I still got my Rice Krispie treats, my cookies and cream fluff, and my chicken noodle soup to make. The turkey is cooking, so I'm going to clean up and I'll get back to you. Okay, I'm back. Got the mess cleaned up. I'm ready to make cookies and cream fluff. I decided to make a double batch. So, I'm using 2 packages of vanilla pudding. This one's from Aldi's, this one's from someplace else. 2 different brands, whatever. And it takes 2 cups of milk per, I think I'll pour in the milk first. It takes 2 cups of milk per package. So there's the milk. one of the puddings. This pudding is pretty white and the other one is almost orange. So we're going to mix them together. Turn on my KitchenAid. Got it. Lock it down. I wasn't real sure which mixer to use, so I used that whiskey looking one. I think that's a good choice for the pudding. So I'm going to let that whip up. Whoops, spraying me. Okay. Just going to let that cook a while. My mother-in-law, I used to make Watergate salad all the time with the pineapple and the pistachio pudding and walnuts and Cool Whip, and I used to make that all the time. And then my daughter kind of has a thing for cookies and cream, and we found this recipe online. You can find the recipe online. This is 2 cups of milk, 1 instant vanilla pudding, 1 whipped cream, whipped topping, and 15 crushed cookies, so times 2, that's 30. I added 36. I broke them up pretty big, not real small. And I'm gonna put it in the, I'm jabber. This is my giant Tupperware container. I'm gonna mix it up in there. I don't know how much space it's gonna take up by the time I get the Cool Whip in. And then I'm going to chill it in 2 smaller bowls. And I'm going to take 1 bowl to the in-laws for Thanksgiving tomorrow and keep the other bowl for us. And those kids love that. They'll eat it all up. But I don't want to share all of it. Okay. Now I don't really want to whip up this topping too much. I want to keep it fluffy, so I'm going to put it right into the bowl and not into the mixer. And then I'll mix in the pudding. Gotta recycle those bowls. I got so many containers in this cabinet, I don't reuse these bowls. I do save my ice cream buckets, and then I drain my grease into them when I do my big cooking, and I just throw away the buckets. Alright. Good thing I bought some extra Cool Whip. I got 3 more down in the freezer downstairs. Must be thickening up because it's not spitting on me now. I don't really know how long to whip it up. I'm just guessing at it. It'll chill up and be just fine. So this is really pretty easy to make. Gotta get a sip of my hot apple cider. Oh, I think. There's my, I'm going to turn off the oven. There's my hash brown casserole. It's still kind of thin, but it'll thicken up. It'll be fine. As it cools, it'll thicken up. And I'm going to put this in a smaller container to take to the in-laws. But I got to let it cool off. So there's my hash brown casserole. Put that over here to let it cool. And I think, yeah, I used this beater because I wasn't sure which one to use. And I think it worked pretty good. Tap that off. I really need to use my mixture more. So it's kind of thickened up. See there? And that's the color it turned with combining the 2 different puddings. Last time I went ahead and added everything in together, mixed everything together in the mixer, but I'm going to do it separately this time to keep it light and fluffy. So I'm going to gently fold this Cool Whip into this pudding, get it all mixed up. I don't want to just whip it together and break down the Cool Whip. I want to keep it fluffy. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Oh, and we are getting a lot of, it's going to be a lot. So good thing I got such a big bowl out. It's kind of some lumps of Cool Whip there. Alright. And dump in the cookies. And fold them in. I think we need more cookies. I do. I think we need more cookies. The kids are going to love it. Okay, I'm going to break up some more cookies in there. Because otherwise I'll just eat them. Yeah, you bet I will. These are not Oreos. They're a generic brand. Yeah, the grandkids just love this stuff. And I have this bowl. I don't want to keep it in the refrigerator overnight because it takes a lot of space. My mother-in-law gave me this bowl. She likes to buy me a lot of stuff. How does this work? The lid's kind of stuck on there. There we go. So, you put your salad or something you want to cool in there, and you put the lid on and lock it, and then you can fill this with ice to keep your salad cold. But you know what? I think they should have made it. Oh, you know what? Yeah. No, that won't work. You could have your ice there. I wish they had made it so that you could sit it on top of the ice when you're serving it. But that'll get knocked off. Well, we'll figure something out because it's got to be kept chilled. So there's the cookies and cream. I got to put it into 2 smaller dishes to get it in the refrigerator. And next we'll make the let me see now. I'm going to put some in this bowl for us to keep at home. Not too much because it doesn't last more than a couple of days. It gets kind of gross. So this will keep at home. And the rest I'll take to Grandma's. And wait, you got to chill this now, and it'll thicken up. Be nice and fluffy. My family's coming. They were. Oh, it was unlocked. Okay, I'm ready to make Rice Krispie treats. I've got my pan sprayed with cooking oil. I've got a half a stick of margarine cooking in, heating in this pan. I've got 4 cups of marshmallows. This is a very large measuring cup. And I've got 5 cups of Rice Krispies. So, I didn't read the instructions. I've done this before. And I don't make them very often, but I'm pretty sure all you do is melt the butter, and then you add the marshmallows and melt those, and then you dump in your Rice Krispies, and then get that all stirred up, which that gets very hard because everything is super sticky. And then you spread it into the pan, and it's all very, very sticky. Alright. So now I got my marshmallows in. I'll show you real quick. They're getting melty. All melty and buttery. I got it on kind of a high medium heat. It's changing quickly. Okay, it's all marshmallow fluff now. I just turned off the heat. Pour in the Rice Krispies. I think it helps a lot to pre-measure everything as you go, because you gotta move kind of fast. It's amazing how fast this goes. So I got getting the Rice Krispies all stirred in real good. Actually, this is going pretty well. It's not really too awful sticky. Okay. I'm ready to turn it into the pan. This is going very well. Usually I have a very sticky mess. So, this is going good. Awesome. Okay. So I'll spread it out in the pan. Oh, we're getting a little bit of a sticky mess. And there you go. So we'll let it chill, and we'll have Rice Krispie treats. Next, I think I'll make some brownies. And then I still got to do my chicken noodle soup. So I'll be back. Well, I must really be in a cooking mood today because I decided to make some brownies too, and I didn't plan on that. So, I've got the oven preheated at 315 degrees. I finished baking all of my 2 pies, my cornbread stuffing, and my hash brown casserole. So I'm done with the oven for other things. So I got it's preheated to 350. Got my pan sprayed with cooking oil. Got my mixer set up. I'm gonna go ahead and put in 2 eggs. It's just a box mix. I'm not cooking from scratch. So I'm going to get those started whipping up a little bit. Barely touching them. Okay, and then I measured out 3 tablespoons of water and just put this measuring cup. And then you need 1/2 cup of cooking oil. Whip that up a little bit. Get them eggs beat a little bit. I don't know if you're really supposed to, but that's how I'm going to do. Okay, I'm going to slow it down and add my brownie mix. And my rubber spatula. And I'm going to turn it off for a second, lift it, and scrape it down off the sides. I really need to use my KitchenAid more often because it's expensive. I haven't used it much. Okay, lock that down. Turn it back on. Okay. Chocolate. Okay, I'm going to take this off. Slide this over a little bit. Take that beater off. Making sure it got everything down deep in the bottom. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Okay. So now I'm going to put it in the pan. Okay. And that bakes for 20 to 25 minutes, so I gotta turn on my timer. Let me double check that. Yeah, about 25 minutes. Okay. I'm gonna plug that and plug my clock radio back in. And I don't know what time it is. I've been at this since about 9:30 this morning. Oh my gosh, it's almost 3 o'clock. I've been cooking about 5 hours. But that's fine, I'm having fun. It's a little early for dinner, but I'm going to go ahead and get my chicken noodle soup cooking because then I don't have to worry about it at dinner time. So, I'll get my favorite pan and put in some water to boil the noodles. Now, I was talking earlier about when I put my dried macaroni into my spaghetti sauce. You boil your noodles, your macaroni separately. But for chicken noodle soup, you add a lot of water, so that's an exception. You can start cooking with dry noodles. So pour in my bag of noodles. I like to make a 16-ounce size noodles. Turn that on high. Then I got my turkey. Hope it's turkey. It could be chicken. I did have some chicken in the freezer too, but I think it's turkey. So I've got it all defrosted. So I'm going to pour that in there. It's all shredded and deboned, and so I'm going to put that in there. I've got my pan from my my hash brown casserole soaking in the sink because that's kind of hard to wash. I put that into a smaller dish. Okay, what's next? I need my big spoon. Where is it? It's right there. Well, I'll get it. So I'm gonna open my can of chicken broth. I've opened a lot of cans today with my chili and my spaghetti sauce and something else too. So I'll pour that in the pan, the whole thing. I'm going to go ahead and rinse this out and throw it in my recycling basket along with this piece of paper. Then I got my country gravy mix. I need to get my spoon. It's right here. I need this. So I'm going to wash it. Because I need it. Isn't that fun watching me wash dishes? It's been a busy, busy day. And I'm enjoying it, really. Okay. I'm sure I'm going to need to add some more water to this soup. I would put a lid on it, but then it boils over and makes a big mess. So I'm not going to put a lid on it. Okay, I got my turkey and my noodles kind of mixed up together. And now I take a measuring cup and my gravy packet. It makes 2 cups, it says, but it doesn't really matter because it's getting mixed in with the soup. It'll thicken it up very, very, very slightly, not much. But it's just mostly for the flavor. So I'm going to add some water. Normally you would add 2 cups, but it's going to get mixed with all the other water, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to whisk it up, make sure there's no lumps in there. And then pour that in there. That's just delicious. And I'm going to add a little bit more water. Alright, time to wrap up this video. I got the dishes done, kitchen pretty much cleaned up. I almost forgot to add the celery to my soup. I got that in there. It's not quite done, but I turned it off because we're going to eat later. I might make some crescent rolls with it to have with it. We also have some crackers to go with it. I got my bowls and spoons ready, the serving spoons. Here's the brownies, just right out of the oven. I got my yams in the pan ready for tomorrow. And my green bean casserole will go in here. That's ready for tomorrow. Here's my cookies and cream fluff. It's thickening up. It's got to go back in the refrigerator. I just pulled it out for my video. Here's the turkey. It's still got some cooking to do. It's been about 5 hours. Timer hasn't popped up yet, but then I cook it longer than that actually. So I still got to work on that. And I will cut it up and freeze a lot of it and have some for leftovers for Friday when we're doing our Christmas decorating. Here's my, woo, it's hot. And I've got it on low. That's my apple cider with cinnamon. Okay, coming over here, there's the Rice Krispie treats. Here's my ham slices and diced that I'm going to put in the freezer. This is for our leftovers on Friday. My Mickey Mouse waffles. The pumpkin pie. The peach pie. My 4 pasta sauce. My 3 chilies. Here's the cornbread stuffing. And the hash brown casserole. And so tomorrow I will be taking the hash brown casserole, the stuffing, the cookies and cream, the yams, 2 pies, and the green bean casserole. I got my electric knife still handy to cut up my turkey when it's done. So yeah, I had a busy day, and I hope you enjoyed watching me cook. Now I got a little bit more work to do. I gotta get all this stuff put in the freezer and the refrigerator. It's going to take some real manipulating to get it in the refrigerator, I'm telling you. I think I got the freezer under control. So thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel. Bye-bye.